Welcome everyone. So, just wanted to come on here real quick just to explain who I am, what I do, and who I help. And this goes back, I would say in 2020 is where everything almost all began. Everything shifted from there. 2020 is when I moved to London. I went to London from Italy. I'm Italian, half Italian. My mum is Italian, my dad is Irish. And yeah, 2020, I moved to London. I had enough of Italy. I wanted to do something more of my life. And I was in a relationship 4 years, free. The fourth year was in London, of course. I already left. I said, come and join me later on once I sorted out everything. But yeah, fast forward a year, she came. We were working there. Of course, COVID in between hit, and I was like, no job basically. So I needed to figure things out, and I always had a bit of this mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset. I built up a construction business. I was selling road bikes when I first got there, and lockdown hit straight away. And then of course I opened the business. But yeah, that was that. I did multiple things. I was almost, I would say, always into fitness. I just had this passion, but I was never always in shape. There was some periods that I was in shape, maybe for the summer. You just want to get a bit lean, for the summer is coming around, and that was always pushed too much, right? And then of course you would just gain back the weight. But anyway, fast forward that year in 2021, I broke up, and that was the worst thing that happened to me. Again, there's much more worse things in life that can happen, like a loss of a family member, someone that you love, for sure. But that is what hit me the most, and that is where I really got out of shape. I got depressed, anxiety, physically, mentally, I just wasn't there. Spiritually, yeah, I was completely lost. I was like 250 pounds. And, I was like, it is what it is. You keep trying to get on with your life, smiling, happy. But deep down, I knew that just wasn't me. That I was just in the worst shape of my life. Not that I've been in the great shape of my life before that. I was just a normal average guy, and I was actually I wouldn't say overweight, but I was always out of shape. And then I got overweight, and yeah, that hit me pretty hard. Even though I was still working, having my career, I was doing great, on that side. But I'm like, if I'm not happy the way I look and present myself to others, how am I going to be happy in general? How am I going to succeed in life, right? Because let's be honest, people are always going to judge you no matter what. And if you look out of shape, that is already a big sign of someone undisciplined, doesn't take care of themselves, doesn't take care of their family, business, their lifestyle in general. I wouldn't want to do something with that person that doesn't take care of themselves. They don't have responsibilities. Because, yeah, everyone has responsibilities, but you don't have responsibilities for yourself. You need to take responsibility for yourself in knowing that you are out of shape. You are unhealthy. That is not good looking on you. And that was one big thing for me. I really needed to change that, because I couldn't keep going the way I was going. I would come home, I would just eat fast food. I was just staring at the wall thinking, what am I doing? And then the next day was just the same day as the day before, and it was a non-ending cycle over and over again. So that is when I decided that enough was enough, and I started going back to the gym. It wasn't easy at the beginning, of course, overweight, no energy, lack of confidence. I just needed to start all over again. But I just started. You need to, you're never going to know your true potential and the results that you can get if you never try. You just have to start. And that is what I did. I said, I did it once, I'm going to do it again. Of course, I was a bit more heavier, but I knew I could do it. I had a bit of the knowledge. So, again, it's like, now it's almost, I would say 5 years that went by. And now I'm in a pretty good, decent shape. But when I started off, it was like, I needed to find a system that would allow me to enjoy my life and stay healthy. So I started, getting up same time, rebuilding my habits, rebuilding my discipline, being consistent every single day. And that was just me. That allowed me to be consistent and to start seeing results. But there was just one thing, and that was like always eating the same boring food, chicken and rice, veggies, fish. It became a bit overwhelming. I almost got to the point that I got sick of it again. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. So that's why I needed to find different solutions. And trust me, I've tried everything out there, every single diet, you name it. The only thing that actually stuck to me and actually worked, and where I saw the drastic fat loss, was intermittent fasting. But you needed to do it in a right way, and that's why I found the right way to do it. Very efficient way to still lose fat and enjoy your food, and that was just delaying my calories. And I'm not saying intermittent fasting that you don't need to eat for 14, 15, 20 hours, just water. Depends on what occasions, how much fat you gotta lose. I just maybe was doing it once or twice a week because I had a proper system that I developed with the knowledge that I had, that it allowed me to fit in even on my busy schedule that I had, because I was in London. So London, if I didn't have everything organized, my day would be all over the place, and I wouldn't be able to stick to the plan that I had to, in order for me to get into the best shape and to lose all that fat. And once I managed to actually follow that every single day in a very easy way, without stressing out, without tracking calories and macros, and still eating and enjoying my food, but I was just eating real simple food that you can still enjoy instead of going eating junk. Because you need to realize that once you start losing fat and you get into shape and you actually see it, in the same time you're still enjoying your life, the food that you are currently eating that is junk, you are not going to crave it when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you feel good with yourself. Trust me, it's right now, it's just a psychology game for you. It's like, oh, I still want to enjoy this. How can I not eat this and still lose weight? That's the whole point. You try to decrease it slowly, not drastically. Drastic things, drastic results never work. But the way that I found it, in order for me to lose fat in a not drastic way, I would say, but in a fast, sustainable way, actually works. And that's why I said, well, if I manage to find this system so effective and it worked, and I managed still to keep the fat off, still getting to the best shape, toning up, building up muscle, and being fit while still enjoying my life and my food and traveling and everything, I can actually teach other people. And that is what I did even back in the days. I used to help other people get into the best shape, but it was different, right? Because it was a spreadsheet, a diet that people would follow, and with the system that I followed, that I basically created. I did it all myself and it worked. It isn't a spreadsheet. It's a complete change of lifestyle. It's rebuilding those good habits, a solid foundation that you need to build on top, that is going to be there for a lifetime. It isn't something that you just follow, something that is written, because I can guarantee you for a fact, I've seen it and I've done it. It never lasts. If I am where I am today, it's because I invested in myself. I invested in quite a few mentors when I was at my lowest point of my life. And people don't realize and they don't understand that in order for you to get to A to B in the quickest way possible, you have to invest in other people that already did the journey that you want to do. That is what I did. I wouldn't be here if I would have invested in myself, because you need to understand the most important thing that you have is your body. You show that you respect yourself, you show up for yourself, you are disciplined, and people look up to you. People wouldn't look up to me when I was fat, overweight. They're like, he's a grumpy, fat human being. I wouldn't go to him and ask for advice, any type of advice. You can just tell. No offense to people that want to stay fat and conduct an unhealthy lifestyle, but I didn't want to be that. I wanted to inspire people. And that is what I even want my clients to do, is to inspire others through their journey. Like, you've got a choice here. You can just stay where you are and just stay unhealthy, or you can actually level up your life by rebuilding good and healthy habits. That's all it is. Just eat healthy. Eat good, real foods. It doesn't have to be boring. It's just because you are lazy, because you are comfortable. Remember, comfort never brings great results to people that want great outcome. That is only for people that put themselves in an uncomfortable situation. And remember, motivation comes and goes. Discipline is when you show up even when you don't feel like it. It's when you do the uncomfortable things over and over again until they start becoming easy. That is a disciplined person, and that is when people actually notice it. So again, remember, it's so simple and easy. You just need to invest in yourself. The system that I teach is so simple. Anyone can do it. But the question is, are you willing to put in the work to show up for yourself, to be so disciplined, to actually changing your life around? Because that is what I did. You don't have to do everything drastic. There's nothing that needs to be something quick. But if you stick to the approach, there can really be fast results. Again, it's about reforming and rebuilding your habits step by step. It isn't something that you can do quick. It's every week, you see the results, the progress. You plan out the next week and you improve it again the next week again. And you keep going and going and going until you actually see the results, the improvement, the mindset starts to change. You start rebuilding up the discipline that for sure you had in your job and your career, with your family. You're showing up for them, but it's for you that you have to do it. You think you can't do it because you just look at yourself in the mirror thinking that there's no chance, or I try to do it on my own because it's much easier. Remember, you are going to stay stuck exactly where you are. You're going to try things over and over again. And I've been there. I've tried it over and over again. You know, you have these binge eating cycles up and down, and I can guarantee you it just doesn't stick. It just doesn't. You need to implement step by steps, small little things at a time. That is the only way you are going to completely change your lifestyle for the good. Again, you don't have to go to the gym to start off. My clients didn't go to the gym. Some did because they like it. Some don't. And as long as you take in 10,000 steps, you eat real food, you are going to be fine and you are going to get in the best shape ever. I can guarantee you that for a fact. So you just have to put in the work. Because trust me, again, I've got clients that don't even go to the gym, but they put in the work. Because the thing is, you think you can't have the results. It isn't because you don't have the information. Because you know you have the information. But you know you can't stick to it. Because you don't have the implementation and the accountability. That's all it is. It's no point there trying to lie to yourself, thinking that you can actually do it, because I've received so many messages in my DMs. Oh, Chris, you know, I'm on my fat loss journey and I know I can do it because, you know, I've got all the knowledge and the information and I know what to do. And okay, so you've already done it. Yes, I have. Okay, so why are you in this situation again? Why you keep trying, right? So again, the information is out there. Like, if you really wanted to change your life, burn all that fat off, get into the best shape of your life, why haven't you already done it? My clients come to me not because of the information, because they actually send me some information to me. Say, oh, Chris, what do you think about this? And I said, yeah, this, and this. And sometimes they're actually right on the information that they sent me. But it isn't that. It's the accountability that I give them. It's the step by step that I give them. The guidance. I take their hand and I walk them with me until they don't get the results that they want. That is how I managed to get where I am today. It isn't about the information. The information is out there. It's the implementation, step by step, guidance, accountability that I give them. Every single week, I do check-ins with them. The 24/7 support. They're always there if they need me. They want to text me. I had a client that had a breakdown. She was crying, Chris, I can't do this, and this happened. She broke up and she still managed to get the result because I was there step by step with her. I actually called her straight away. I don't see many coaches out there. Honestly, I don't really care what they do or what the system they have, or I don't care. I don't have time to see that, but I know for a fact not many do what I do, because I genuinely do care of each and every single one of my clients. I just do, because again, I've been there, I've been fat, and it fucking sucked. It really made me uncomfortable. Like, I didn't even want to go to the beach. Like, if I didn't have visible abs, no way. I genuinely know what it feels like being out of shape, being uncomfortable in your own skin, and don't have no one that actually really cares about you, that actually wants to help you. And that's why I really want to help every single one of my clients that come to me, that actually really needs the help, that wants to invest in themselves, that want to take action. Those are the people that I am willing to put my time and effort to actually help them. Because I had no one. I had no one back in the days. I did it all on my own. And then you said, yeah, but Chris, you had the knowledge and everything. But it's like, I was starting from ground zero again. And I did it all on my own. And then, yeah, of course, I invested in other mentors for other things and for my business. But if you don't invest in yourself and you just really don't believe that you can actually achieve the success that you want, the results that you want, the life that you want, I can't help you achieve that if you are not willing to achieve that yourself first. Because I can't want it bad enough more than you. I just can't. Like, I'll be so happy to help you out, to help anyone that needs help and they're willing to invest in themselves. Because honestly, like, I helped a lot of people back in the days, and they said, Chris, can you just write me down a meal plan? Are you sure you're going to follow it? Yeah, okay. I waste my time, my energy, my effort to write plans down for friends that I think, dude, I really hope you follow it. Yeah. Check them in a week later. If you followed it, yeah, some days, I'm just out, I'm eating. The other day I had a party. I'm like, why do I even bother? So I'm like, I'm fed up of helping everyone. I only want to help those that are really willing to change their life. That are just stuck. They're fed up. They're fed up of trying things over and over again. But I promise you, if you really commit to yourself and you really want to change, it can be a lifetime changing. And it's only going to take you 6 months up to a year to completely change your life. 6 months up to a year. It took me 5 years to get to where I am today. And yeah, it was being a long progress up and down, but it doesn't take long. It really doesn't. You just have to take action. Because at the end of the day, what worse can happen? You just stay fat, out of shape, and you just don't like yourself and nothing ever changes. Or you can completely change your life, get slim again, fit in the best clothes that you've wanted to fit in for years, show off, because why not? Feel more confident, look good in the picture, family picture, party, event, whatever it is. You're going to feel more energized. You're going to feel more alive. You're just going to feel more you. People are just going to look at you in a different way, and I can guarantee you that for a fact. People are going to start complimenting you, and when they do, trust me, it's just going to make you feel so alive that you said, fuck, lucky I took that shot to change my life forever, because that literally what happens to me, and it feels so good. Like, honestly, it really does. It really does. So if you really feel that you really want to change your life, you want to get in the best shape of your life, I'm here to help you. Genuinely, I'm here to help you. I helped every single one of my clients. Not even one client hasn't achieved the results that they wanted. So if you really want to change, you want to get into the best shape of your life again, you can just text me on Instagram, just DM me, reach out. It's me in the DMs. If you really want to start, we can put down a plan for you. I can see where you currently are and how I can help you, and we'll just go from there. But please, if you think about it too much, things are just never going to change. So just take action and do it for yourself, okay? I'll see you soon.